Eric Boehlert from Media Matters is going to come on and tell us about how Fox News is, in very subtle and actually not so subtle ways, supporting the Republican field in 2012. Eric, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, great to have you here. First, are there any Republican possible candidates in 2012 that are actually on Fox News Channel?
That are or are not?
Well, I think there's...
Mitt Romney, honestly, is the only one who people really point to as likely or prominent candidates who right now does not have a working relationship with Fox News. And I'm sure that was by design. If he wanted to, he probably could. He, for whatever strategic reason, he's decided to be the person who's not working for Fox News heading into the 2012.
So Sarah Palin, Newt Gingrich, we see them all the time.
Yep.
Mike Huckabee has a show. First, do all of them get paid by Fox News? Are they official contributors that get paychecks from Fox News?
Certainly Sarah Palin, and certainly Huckabee. I mean, he hosts the show. Honestly, I'm not sure about people like Rove. I mean, Rove's not going to run, but he is obviously all the time. I'm pretty sure he is a contractual. Newt Gingrich, I'm not so sure. Rick Santorum, who's on a lot and people talk about, I'm not so sure. But a couple of the biggies are definitely getting very large weekly paychecks from Fox News.
So you guys have picked out 6 people that might run in 2012 in the GOP field. Who are they, and how many times have they appeared on Fox News recently?
They have been on almost 300 times, and which is amazing because, you know, Sarah Palin, you know, her advice to Christine O'Donnell was to speak through Fox News. And again, as Palin, in this sense, speaking the unvarnished truth. I mean, she's saying, as a lot of Tea Party candidates have adopted her strategy, is basically just don't deal with the mainstream press. If you have to communicate with voters, don't do it through the press. You do it through, you do it through the Fox media, Fox News, and whatnot. So that's over 300 for the potential candidates in 2012, Santorum, Palin, Huckabee, and Gingrich.
Right. Now, and you got John Bolton on the list as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he said, and Rick Santorum, so John Bolton said that he might, you know, when they asked him, are you definitely not going to run in 2012? I don't know why anybody would ask him such a silly question. But he said, he was coy about it. He's like, you know, I'm not saying I'm not running. I'm not saying I am running. Where the hell would you run outside of off a cliff? But anyway, so these guys are all on Fox News all the time. Now, why might this be an issue, Eric? I mean, it's a free country. Why can't they go and get paychecks and make appearances on Fox News? It seems like a good racket.
And, you know, and we've seen this in sort of local races. I mean, we've seen occasional anchormen run for congressman or mayor, and immediately when they decide they're going to, or local radio show jocks entering the actual political fray. And when they do that, they immediately stop their affiliation with the local TV or radio station, you know, take a leave or quit, because, you know, the old standards were, well, you can't run for office and have this free media platform. You know, being on the air every day is free publicity. It's essentially a free campaign donation by your employer. So in the past, you know, when this sort of situation has come up, automatically, you know, cut the ties. You're on your own if you're going to run. Do it on your own. You're not going to piggyback on your media employer. So, but what Fox News, what we're seeing differently now, is clearly, if Sarah Palin is going to run for president, she's clearly campaigning essentially every time she's on Fox News. She's not pontificating really about, you know, the big questions of facing our day. She's talking about politics, horse racing. Picking candidates, fundraising. I mean, this is just real nuts and bolts politics stuff. So she should not be able to have this national platform to essentially rev up her campaign. Look, the reason Mike Huckabee is sort of still in the running, I mean, yes, you know, he had some nice showings in 2008, but if Mike Huckabee had done what he'd done in the 2008 primaries and sort of gone away, he wouldn't be in the top tier in 2012. He's in the top tier because he has a weekly primetime show on Fox News. So the difference is that, you know, not only are they clearly sort of angling for future campaigns, and are they obviously not cutting their cord with their media employer, they're doing the opposite. they're using these media platforms in a way to campaign, and we've never seen anything like it. Quick caveat: Sarah Palin is under contract to Fox News, so the other media companies really have no access to her. Because if they say we want to interview Sarah Palin, they say, well, you got to get permission from Fox News.
So it's sometimes conservatives say, oh, what, MSNBC does the same thing. No, they don't.
No.
Can you imagine if after 2004, MSNBC immediately announced shows for John Edwards, Hillary Clinton, and I mean they couldn't have possibly expected Barack Obama, but let's say Obama. They said, congratulations, here's our 3 new shows.
Yeah, right. Or John Kerry or Al Gore or Hillary Clinton. Hey, here's your show. Enjoy it. Enjoy the national spotlight. Things like that. And the other thing is different. Yes, I've seen MSNBC. They've had Democratic candidates on. They've had them on in prime time. They invite them in to talk about their campaign. It's what Fox News does, and Sharon Angle, a Republican from Nevada, has bragged about this. The reason she goes on Fox is because they fundraise for her. When she does 10 minutes on Fox News, she's hyping her website. She's asking for money. Dick Morris comes on and asks for money on her behalf. She knows she's going to get X million of dollars in the bank in the next day because of Fox News. MSNBC doesn't fundraise on behalf of Democratic candidates. So you're right. There is no equivalence. Nobody's doing what Fox News is doing.
So Eric, where do we draw the line here, right? So, I know that Sarah Palin's going to run. I know Newt Gingrich is going to run, but I don't know if Santorum's definitely going to run.
Yeah, right.
So, and how close do we have to get to before an election where you say, no, wait a minute, now this is definitely an in-kind contribution to a candidate? Where do you draw?
That's the problem, because in the past, like everything else in journalism, there are no rules, there is no federal regulation. In the past, there had been sort of a gentleman's agreement, common sense agreement, that if it didn't look right, then it shouldn't be going on. Well, come on. Fox News has walked away from every conceivable common sense or gentleman's agreement about what news gathering should be and what it should look like. So, unfortunately, it's up to Fox News, and unfortunately, they've shown, particularly since Inauguration Day, they no longer have any standards. So, 9 people out of 10 would say, certainly by, next spring or next summer, as we're gearing up for these presidential primaries, you would certainly have to cut the cord if any of these people are going to run. But I have no hopes that Fox News is going to see that. And this is the thing. And frankly, I wrote about this last year. I think other people saw it coming. We're going to have a Fox News candidate for president. That is the bottom line. You can call it a Tea Party candidate. You can call it sort of a right-wing populist or whatever. There will be a Fox News candidate.
What does that mean, Eric?
They're going to rally around a single candidate during the primary season. They're not going to sort of cover the Republican primaries as sort of these objective, thoughtful journalists. Their primetime lineup, and throughout the day, they're going to pick a candidate, and that's who it's going to be.
Eric, how would that work? I mean,
just look at some of these primaries we just had, where Fox News has gone in on behalf of Tea Party candidates against sitting Republicans. Mike Castle, Christine O'Donnell.
How do they do that when they've got almost everybody in the stable? Do they say, "How could be a sad day for you? It didn't work out. We're going with Sarah."
They're gonna, they'll see the numbers like everyone else. And I said it. I said a year ago. It's going to be Sarah Palin is going to be the Fox News candidate. I mean, she's got the star power. Fox News is in love with her celebrity status. It won't be a difficult choice if she's in the mix, I don't think. But again, for a template, look at the Delaware race. Republican Mike Castle versus Tea Party Christine O'Donnell. Fox News essentially sponsored the Christine O'Donnell campaign, went after Mike Castle, absolutely trounced him when he wouldn't immediately endorse Christine O'Donnell. That's what they will do, with some of these other candidates. And if I was in the Mitt Romney camp, I would be very nervous.
Well, see, that's what I was going to get to.
Because if Fox News tags him as the inside establishment candidate against their Tea Party darling Sarah Palin, they will unload on Mitt Romney.
But Mitt Romney's hosed. I mean, under this scenario, he's got to figure a way around this because he's in a pickle.
He's sort of gone the He's sort of gone the old-fashioned way, low profile. Cash in your chits. Create political allies. The really sort of the old boy backroom approach. And as someone else wrote, not me, in the last couple of weeks, he might find out that's completely useless, and it was the wrong way to go, and that route doesn't really matter anymore.
Well, but especially in this case, and we're talking to Eric Boehlert from Media Matters, they've been tracking how many times these guys have appeared on Fox News. Because if Mitt Romney's not on Fox News, all of his opponents are getting free ad time here, and that's got to drive him crazy. But at the same time, if he attacks Fox News over that, he's in a world of hurt, right?
Well, and again, if we're just going to talk straight politics, look at John Thune, Mitch Daniels, Mitt Romney. These are sort of the traditional, quote-unquote, serious candidates. They don't really, personally, if you just look at it, they don't stand a chance. That is not the way Rush Limbaugh and Fox News now run the Republican Party. They are going to run the primary system. Those guys are going the sort of the old-fashioned route. I don't see how it works. I mean, if you're not on Fox News, do you exist? I mean, when it comes to the conservative movement today.
Or the Democratic movement sometimes. But anyway, so Eric, one more thing for you here. So I get why the candidates do it. It's a tremendous win-win for them. They get to build up their visibility. They get extra money on top. They run these basically ads.
Yep.
It's a huge win for them. What does Fox News get out of it?
They get star power. They get to be the kingmakers. They get to have the sort of stable of people who might be running. I mean, it's a feather in your cap if people from your on your staff or your contributors are soon going to be the newsmakers of tomorrow. So, I think Roger Ailes and Fox, they love this king-making role. So it's essentially a win-win for them. I think it's going to become very complicated, and it's going to become very messy because, again, I don't think there's any way on earth Fox News is going to cover the Republican primary in a fair, objective way. And they are going to run over some people who aren't going to know what hit them.
Well, that will be interesting because, look, I get it. Fox News, they're in a lot of ways an arm of the Republican Party anyway. They literally donate to the Republican Party. They gave $1 million to the Republican Governors Association. Of course, Roger Ailes used to run Republican campaigns, Nixon, George H.W. Bush, etc. But you're right. The other part of it is if one of these people win, Fox News has tremendous access to them.
Yes.
And that's, in the media business, you know how obsessed they are with access. That's a gold mine for them in that way. So when the Republican establishment gets a full-blown clash with Fox News, because this was all appetizers, Christine O'Donnell, Joe Miller, they're appetizers.
Yep.
If it happens like the way you're saying, and honestly, I hadn't thought of that it would develop that way before, but it's an interesting point. If it develops in the way you're saying, 2012, we're going to have a significant explosion within the Republican Party instigated by Fox News. So it'll be interesting to see what falls out after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Fox News is the opposition party now. They're not content to have some access, like you say. They're not content to, be able to spin some of the primaries. They want to run the show, and I think I think they've been eyeing this from the beginning. They are going to have a candidate for president. There will be a Fox News candidate come 2012.
All right. Fascinating conversation and an idea there from Eric Boehlert from Media Matters. Thanks, Eric.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Young Turks.